Finish getting ready with me while I tell you a story about the time that I was stalked literally 2 hours ago. I'm also going to be including pictures of the stalker and tell you how I avoided getting kidnapped and who knows what else could have happened. Anyways, I'm going to be using the shade Cinnamon by Sachi Beauty Lip Stain. This is my second favorite color. I needed to go to Sam's. I just needed groceries today, man. I go to this certain city, a 20-minute drive away from me, because it's supposed to be nicer. Like, it's a fancy city, like a yuppie city, you know? So I'm like, okay, let me go to that Sam's, because they'll probably have like better quality stuff. Believe it or not, I was raised in a very ghetto neighborhood. I have unfortunately had many situations where I've been followed. I've been in a situation where my life was at risk. And also, if you know what Sam's Club is, you know that it's a grocery store that you buy in bulk. You don't go to Sam's without grabbing a basket or without the intention of like grabbing something at least while you're shopping. You know what I mean? Any person that goes to Sam's understands that if you don't have a basket, like, what are you doing? After this dries a little bit, I'm gonna go in with a nude to like do an ombre effect. I'm also gonna be using one of their lip elixirs. I'm so excited. So I see this man in a brown Carhartt looking jacket, doesn't have a basket, is like scoping me out from across the department that I'm in. Like, I'm in the meat department. See him walking up, no basket, and I was just automatically like, okay, weirdo. I'm on FaceTime with my mom the whole time. So that's where I got the picture from, was I asked her to take a screenshot because he was sketching me out. And I am looking at meat and cheeses and stuff, and I notice him walk behind me. Just for funsies, I'm gonna like do a turn, and then I noticed him behind me again. So at this point, my mom's like yapping on FaceTime, and I had already been like locked in on this dude. So like I interrupt her and I'm like, hey, take a picture of this man behind me. And she thought I said this pole, so she took a screenshot, and this is the screenshot she got. And at the bottom, you can see him like behind me. And I was like, no. I'm gonna turn this corner and there's gonna be a guy behind me in a brown jacket. Screenshot him when you see him in the background. And so I leaned right, just like I said, because I knew he was gonna do that. So in the picture, you can see him staring just in my direction, looking for me. My mom takes that picture, and I'm assuming he saw that my mom was on the phone and like looking at him back. Then he like kind of dipped for a little bit. I can't find him. But at that point, I was like, okay, he's for sure following me, because every single time I suspect I'm being followed. I learned this when I was very young, and it has saved my life 3 times already. If you ever suspect that you're being followed, whether it's driving, walking, just anywhere, take 4 turns left or right in order, and if after the 4th turn they're still behind you, you are being followed. That's what I did. I literally did a 360 around this fridge in the middle of the floor of meat, and the dude was still there. So I was like, okay, I literally see you, like, you're busted now. So after that, I went down a random aisle, which is where this picture came from, and he was being so sketchy. Like, he didn't have a basket. He would keep pretending to pick something up like he was interested in it and then put it down, and if I moved, he moved. Honestly, he sucked at being a stalker. Like, he was being very obvious. He must have thought that I was just some dumb little ditzy girl that wouldn't notice him, but I might be a girly girl and I might look like I'm dumb, but unfortunately I was raised in the hood and I saw him. So right after that, I go to find a worker and I go to the front. I don't know where he is at this point. One of my thoughts was like, maybe this dude was LP, which is loss prevention. Basically, loss prevention is someone that pretends to be a shopper and like keeps an eye on people shoplifting. But I went up to these dudes and I showed them the picture and I was like, hey, so I'm being followed by a dude. I'm just wondering, like, is this your LP? Because he's creeping me out. And they were like, no, we don't have an LP. Here's where it gets crazy. As I was walking to go to these 2 workers, I looked to my left, like literally the next aisle over from these workers, and the guys standing in the aisle, just like standing there. Trey and Mason. Shout out to Trey and Mason, because y'all probably helped save my life. I told them what was going on. I let them know where he was. I was like, he's literally right there. Like, we were talking right here. There was an aisle right here, and then stalker dude was literally right there. He was looking in a fridge, picking up literally the most random things, turning it over and then putting it back, and then just standing there and then like looking around. So I showed these guys a picture. They're like, no, we don't have LP. Like, we don't know him. Thank you for telling us. And they assigned Mason to stay with me while I finished shopping. Trey went to go keep an eye on him. He radioed the rest of the people to like fill him in. So I started doing my shopping. I'm talking to Mason. I'm still on FaceTime with my mom. And then that came out so good. Oh my gosh, I think that's my new like everyday lip line with cinnamon and then ombre with nude. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Me and Mason can see Terry looking at stalker dude. I hear Trey over Mason's radio. I just approached him, asked if he needed help with anything to kind of like get him intimidated that like we notice him. Trey said over the radio that the stalker dude immediately like got really sketchy, acting really weird, grabbed literally the first thing in front of him and went to check out. I kind of freaked out because I was like, oh my god, that literally confirms this dude was being weird and had weird intentions. Okay, really quick, this is their lip elixir in Midnight Lychee, and it's so pretty. pretty. After he heads to checkout, Trey radios like a few minutes later, take her to the back of the store. Don't come back up here with her until I tell you, because apparently he had called someone on his phone. He was acting really sketchy up front, coming up with all these excuses why he didn't have a Sam's card, didn't have his ID on him, and just the fact that he got on the phone with someone and started scoping out the area to, I guess they thought, look for me. They literally took me to the back of the store, and I was just with Mason waiting to hear back if I could go up front. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. It gets to a point where Trey is like, I'll let you know when it's good, but I'm following him out to his car to make sure he gets in his car and he leaves. Apparently, he sat in his car for a good amount of time, didn't move, was acting so sketchy, and I asked if they could get his license plate, his vehicle like information, so that I can keep an eye on it after I leave. If you think you're being followed, take 4 turns. If they're still there, get a description of them, keep an eye on them, take a picture, go tell a worker and ask a worker to stay with you. Comes back, tells me that he literally stood behind his truck, took a picture of him so that that guy, soccer guy, knows we're watching you. The one who did that walked me to my car, helped load the car. We talked about like a game plan for after I leave if I end up seeing anybody, and just to be careful. But yeah, honestly, who knows what could have happened? Like, who knows that guy's intentions? Who knows if he was just a creeper trying to watch me? Who knows who he was on the phone with? Who knows what he would have done if he saw me leave alone? Like, after I got home safe, was over like the shock, like that could have gone so wrong. And if I didn't have the knowledge on like how to keep myself safe in a situation like that, and I really was just unaware of my surroundings and didn't know like how to react to something like that, I could have gone down a really bad route where like you probably could have never seen from me again. You know, like we don't know those kind of things. Can we just take a moment though for my lips? So yeah, just some safety tips. Keep a defense weapon on you. Like I had pepper spray and a grape whistle. I noticed him right away. I was keeping my eye out for him. I did 4 turns, confirmed that he was following me. I had my mom take a picture of him. I went to a worker, showed them, asked someone to stay with me. Someone walked me to my car. Like, thank God for these workers too, because they took it seriously. Like I genuinely felt like they cared about making sure that I was safe and like left safe. Yeah, I just wanted to tell that story time because 1, crazy, 2, crazy, 3, if you didn't have these tips already, then hopefully this video like lets you know like it can literally happen to anybody at any time. I was literally just going to get groceries. That was it. And my day could have changed in a completely different way. Anyways, I am loving the way that my lips look right now. I don't know, like I'm really thinking this might be my new daily lip combo. Okay, bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys about the story that I got sent. So it started off by me meeting this guy a few months before COVID started. We were texting for a while, getting to know each other, and eventually I started to like him. We were going out, and eventually my girl best friend moved around my area. We were hanging out a lot, and I eventually told her about my boyfriend. She was happy for me, but then she started acting weird. She hits him up, and he ends up sending me a screenshot of her trying to get at him. She asked me if I wanted to hang out, so I was like, okay, sure. So whenever I went to her house, I ended up confronting her about it. She got mad at me and told me why I would ever think that she'll hit up on my boyfriend, but then I showed her the proof. After I showed her the proof, she kicked me out of her house, and I went straight to my boyfriend's house. When I went to my boyfriend's house, I told him what happened, and he told me to drop her. So then I dropped her, and then COVID started, so I couldn't see my boyfriend as much. We take a little break because COVID did start and we couldn't really see each other, but we'll still text seeing how we were doing. Then my best friend sends me a snap of them together. And the reason why they had a chance seeing each other more is because they were in a gated community together and they lived like 30 seconds away from each other. When she sent me the snap, she didn't have 1 boyfriend, but she had 2. But then I stab her back and tell her what she's doing with my ex, and she just blocks me. But then I text my ex and I tell him that I want nothing to do with him and that I don't want to hear from him anymore. Moving forward to this year, we talked about it and made a solution. Now we're all good with each other, but we're not friends. Okay, that is the end of the story, but let me give you guys some feedback. First of all, that friend isn't your friend. And I hope that you cut contact with her, and if you did, good job. I know it's hard to cut off contact with a friend that you're best friends with, but if you did so, proud of you. And for your ex to be letting himself like that, and then your ex, he doesn't even have any respect, so don't go back to him. I know how girls be with their ex, just don't. At the end of the day, keep your head up and be careful on who you hang out with.
My life is basically over, and all over a concert. Let me tell you what happened last night. Basically, yesterday I was sick and I didn't want to go to school like a normal person. But I had a concert to go to tonight, and my parents said if I didn't go to school, then I couldn't go to the concert. Me being me, I felt like shit all morning, so I came home, tried to get some medicine. I didn't really go back. Naturally, that pissed my parents off. They said, go back to school or you're losing your car. I said, okay. I go back to school. Did I actually go into campus though? No, I sat in my car and waited for it to be lunch so me and my friend could leave. My dad saw my car's location and my location and basically saw that I was sitting in my car and I wasn't actually on campus. He's yelling at me. He's like, you can go home right now and not leave the house, or you can go back to school and go on with your life. And I said, I'll go home, but I didn't go home. I actually went to lunch with my friend and then went home. I'm still trying to go to this concert, so my mom comes home and I'm like, hey, what time are we going to the concert? She's obviously like, Natalia, what are you talking about? We're not going to the concert. I told you, like, you have to stay at school, yada yada. I'm like, no, but like, I felt terrible. Like, please, I feel so much better now. Like, you have to let me go. My favorite band, like, you have to let me go, basically. And she's like, I don't know, we'll talk to your dad. I call my dad and I'm like, please let me go. And he's like, fine, you can go. Just know you're not gonna have your car this weekend. You might not have it this week if you like don't behave at the concert. I'm like, you know what, that's fine punishment, I'll take it. I won't have my car this weekend. Like, so now I'm carless for 2 days, but I'm going to the concert. Life is good. I get to the concert. Mom wanted to go into VIP. I wanted to be in the pit. Go into the pit by myself and I make some friends. I'm mingling, whatever. The artist comes on, we're dancing. You know, my mom can see me from the balcony. Behind me, we're rolling up and lighting up. And I went, yo, give me some. And my mom texts me and she goes, I saw that. You're getting tested tomorrow. Of course, my mother told my dad. Now my dad's blowing my phone up and he's like, you have no car ever. Don't expect to ever see your car. All this shit being so fucking dramatic. I understand what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have in the crowd. It's just my parents take this level issue and make it a this level issue. But halfway through the concert, I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna put my phone down, not answering anybody. But I had a great time at the concert. I actually had so much fun. I made friends. I'll tell you guys the story. Now comes this morning. Now I went and I tried to talk to my dad and I was super calm and I was trying to get like my punishment, like trying to get him to see he was being kind of crazy. I don't have my car this weekend. Of course, I accept that. And I can't drive myself to school on Monday, but I think I'll have my car back by Tuesday. I literally just got all ready to go on a walk around my neighborhood, so.
Story time on the craziest girl at my high school. And I don't mean fun crazy. I know you guys have been waiting for the story times and I'm finally all done with high school. So I'm gonna start doing like one really good one a week. I'm only gonna tell these stories from my personal experience. I don't want to spread like any false information, any false rumors. So if I don't know, I won't be sharing the information. But what I do know is that this girl came to our high school. I forget which year, but she came to our high school. She was all the rave. She was super pretty. She seemed to be super nice. I think I know why she came to our school, but I'm not for sure. So I'm not gonna say it. I never really had a big run-in with her until my best friend at the time started dating her ex. I always have heard things because she went through a lot of friend groups and there was just always some kind of drama attached to that, you know? So anyway, my best friend starts dating her ex. They broke up. She said she didn't cheat. He said she did. She said, I don't know what's true, but basically he meets my best friend. And when I tell you, these two together are the perfect couple, I can't even explain. Like, they're so in love. They're gonna get married. If they don't, I don't believe in love. This girl also gets a boyfriend around the same time. They're both moved on. Great. No, not great, because she's not. She keeps finding ways to text her ex, which is now my best friend's boyfriend. So, you know, it's unsettling. They're a happy couple. Leave them alone. He never answers her. He keeps blocking her. Eventually gets to the point where she literally is texting him through her friend's phone. She like sent him a song that like reminded her of him. I'm just like, what? You have a boyfriend. I remember my friend showing me like a DM where she was like, my mom saw you driving today. I was thinking of you. Like, Like, what are you doing? Anyway, it gets to the point where she literally texts him through her friend's phone and is kind of like blackmailing him to talk to her in a way. I'm not gonna say why, you know, those are her reasons. That's not for me to talk about on the internet. And my best friend is hanging out with her boyfriend, so, you know, she stands on business and is like, look, if you need to talk to him, like, I'll be right here on the phone with him, but you can call if you need. So the girl's like, never mind. So it's just kind of at a point where, you know, she has a boyfriend, she shouldn't be texting her ex, so this is where I come in. I'm very good at confrontation. I'm also very good with my words. So me and my best friend sit down and we type a long letter for her that's very nice and direct. It wasn't mean whatsoever. The worst part was the end where we were just like, look, if you need help from your ex, we're gonna have to screenshot these texts and send them to your boyfriend because what is going on? She reads the text, but she doesn't answer it. And of course we go to school that week and hear that my best friend apparently sent her some mean text. Obviously no one believed this because, you know, my best friend at the time is so unproblematic. Literally, no one batted an eye when she said something. No, it goes mute for a while, and then we're at the point where my best friend's boyfriend needs his clothes back from this girl. So my friend texts her the first time and asks, and she's just like, well, why doesn't my ex pick it up? Then my best friend fought back and said he doesn't want to waste the gas. So she pulls the I'm not home right now, which is fine. So my best friend texts again and asks for the clothes again and just saying that she'll swing by to grab them if you leave them on the front porch. Swings by, no one's there. She doesn't get out of her car. There was really no response, so she just kind of went on with her life. And the girl then said she gave away all of his stuff, which didn't make sense for reasons, but I don't want to get the story wrong, so we're just gonna continue. Anyway, this girl's mom ends up texting the girl's ex's, my best friend's boyfriend, and the whole thing is kind of complicated, basically saying that my best friend and her boyfriend's little sister were like harassing this girl. Just everyone knows that that's not true. This girl's mom also called my best friend a horse. Like, what? Sorry, but if you're over the age of 30 and you need to talk crap about high school girls, what are you doing? Her mom has literally made so many girls feel bad about themselves, like almost bullied out of friend groups. Like, I know this is a fact for sure because I have witnessed it. But regardless of the fact, this whole thing just goes on for way too long, and I'm like walking in the hallway behind her and she just doesn't care about who's around her, I guess, because I just hear her talking about this whole scenario completely wrong. Like, she's telling the story. Oh, I messed up on those. Telling the story so wrong and calling my best friend a fan. My best friend doesn't even say this girl's name, let alone act like a fan. And I made a story time about that whole kind of interaction as well, but I've been very careful about the story times that I share because I did it once to this other girl. Actually, that girl might top craziest chick. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that because that's mean, but I did do like a story time about homecoming drama, and she made it seem like I was bullying her because I was calling out all the bullying I went through being her friend. Like, what? That'll be another story time. I just don't understand. I'm trying to do these as graceful as possible because, you know, like, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to talk bad about people, but I'm not afraid to spill the truth. And like, right out of high school, no one probably knows who I'm talking about, but basically this whole encounter with this girl lasted like a year and a half, I swear. It's like she forgot me and my best friend at the time literally like lived through each other. Like, everything I knew, she knew. Like, it was like our lives were one, you know? So pretty much the craziest part of all that was just the fact that she still had a boyfriend. It's one thing if you're still hung up on your ex and like you miss him and are trying to ruin someone's relationship, but you have a boyfriend. And there's been other weird allegations with that relationship, but that's not for me to talk on. But I'm ready to go. I actually really like my makeup today. I think it looks super cute and summery. So I hope you guys have a great day. There's a little story time for you guys. I hope you like it. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
If you really pay attention, you will realize that men tell on themselves all the time. This is how I found out I was getting cheated on. I was in a long distance relationship with this guy who was my boyfriend at the time, definitely an ex now. And we planned to go on a cruise together, so we flew out separately from our cities. But he wound up missing his flight because he bleached his hair to a crisp, like it was breaking off. Luckily, he made his flight the next day and we were able to board our cruise. The cruise was so much fun. I was so sad when the cruise was over, but of course, all good things come to an end, and we had to get back to reality and fly back home to our respective states. I spent my entire flight looking through all of our pictures we took together, and I was just really sad to be going home without him. As we were descending, I got a shitload of texts from him, and I instantly knew that something was off. He was basically freaking out, saying that some crazy girl was going to DM me and make all these claims, but none of them are true. And at this point, Instagram was that girl, and I was getting hundreds of messages a day. My Wi-Fi kept on cutting in and out while I was searching for this DM, but I finally found it. The girl was basically saying that she had been seeing my ex and that they were just together, and as a matter of fact, he asked her to pick him up from the airport that evening. She said that she turned him down because she found out about me and that he had a girlfriend. But I was really skeptical of her claims because my ex had a tendency to post everything like as he was doing it, so everybody knew his business. Of course, I DM'd her back asking for proof, and she sent me screenshots and a bunch of other things, but of course I was still in denial because I really wanted to believe my man over a stranger. My ex was so embarrassed that he fried his hair. That was the one thing that he did not put on social media. Like, he didn't want anybody to know. So when she mentioned that she was with him the day he missed his flight, helping him with his hair and putting coconut oil in it, I knew that she was telling the truth. This man came in the morning of our cruise reeking like coconut oil, and I even asked him, like, how do you know about coconut oil? And he was like, oh, my barber told me to use it. And I swear to you, I would have never seen that DM if he did not tell me about it. He was trying to get ahead of the game, but instead he played himself in the worst way possible. But there is so much more to the story, so let me know if you want a part 2. Moral of the story is, when men tell on themselves, believe them the first time.
Story time, how I fought my own best friend. And sorry if my story times are super long, but I can't add the whole achievement into 60 seconds. Trust me, I tried and no. So long story short, I met this girl back in 2022. She was a lot younger than me. We were best friends. We became best friends like since the start, girl. Like, when I tell you, she was super nice to me, whatever. But later on, it started to get a little more, ill vibes. Like, we were cool to the point where I went to her house and stuff. Like, we would buy each other stuff. Like, I bought her, like, ice cream. She would buy me little bracelets. Like, it was a cute little friendship. I'll give it that. But fast forward a couple months past, and I started being friends with everybody else. Like, everybody else. Oh, here's the foundation, because everybody keeps asking me for it, and I keep typing it in the comments, and apparently everybody ignores it, but here it is. But I genuinely think she didn't like the fact that I was, like, being friendly with other girls, Like, if she had a problem with the girl, she could have told me, but she never told me nothing. Until this one time in particular, she really threw me off with the little comments she was making, though. She was like, oh, like, my uncle is from Colombia. If you know, from Colombia, it's known for the booger sugar being really good. Not that I know. But she was like, yeah, he really is like that, like, girl, like, my family. And I was like, bitch, if it was a fucking Chapo 2.0, motherfucker, why the fuck are you coming to this ghetto school? Why don't you pay $1,000 to go to a private school? And the shorty just stayed quiet. I guess that's what kind of, like, bothered her, because I literally humbled her. I was like, girl, what the heck? Like, don't try to claim something you are not. And ever since that day, I guess it just got under her skin. And then literally another week passes by, and she's like, oh, I'm really a hood. And I was like, girl, what the hood? And I literally told her, I was like, oh, so what's your, bandana color? Because, this girl hit me with a gray. Bitch, what the fuck you mean gray? Like, this kind of gray? She was like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck does that stand for? She was like, it stands for peace. I seen the movie Boys in the Hood and all that bullshit, and I've never seen none of that. So that's when I realized, I was like, I need to distance myself from this fucking bitch. The fuck? She false claiming and she swears she's a fucking narco? What the fuck? So then she had invited me to her house, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go to your house. Bitch, I go. This bitch live in the suburbs. I was like, this is what you call the hood? Bitch, I was youngin' with no fucking milk. I had to eat cereal right out the box. I had to get food from the cafeteria and bring it back home. I would eat my own boogers. Just kidding. Like, don't get me wrong, her house was nice as fuck or whatever. Like, it was cool. Look, I have evidence that I went. For certain reasons, this is me and this is her. I went to her house, bro. But honestly, I was pretty shocked because I was like, girl, you said that you're from the hood and you live in a nice, pretty house. Like, don't get me wrong, that's good that you live in a nice home, you know? Hey. But after that, like, ever since that day, like, after that, bro, like, we just, like, I don't know. She would make, like, certain little comments, like, try to make me look bad in front of dudes. Like, she had that habit of trying to make me look bad in front of dudes. Like, this one time, she knew I liked this other guy, right? Tell me why. She's like, oh, you want my water bottle so you won't have to go to your car? We had gotten into an argument that day in class. I think I have the video. It won't let me upload it, but long story short, me and her were, I just called her desperate ass bitch, and she was like, for who? For who? So this is where things start to get, you know, a little escalated. So literally the principal had came for her to the class. He came for her. As soon as she reaches outside the door, she starts getting rattled up. Come find me, bitch, come outside. I was like, ho, is you cool? Like, I know this girl ain't stupid enough to try to argue with two girls knowing damn well she about to get jumped. Like, and ever since that day, me and her fell out hard. Fast forward next year. This is already junior year. I had her for all my fucking classes. The principal and the counselor knew damn well what had happened between me and her the year prior. Like, girl, when I tell you this girl was a big bully, like, she would talk so much shit. Like, I would literally be sitting in front of her and she'd be like, yeah, last time we argued and she didn't even do nothing. That bitch scary, fucking pussy ass bitch. Like, wait, no mames, güey, eres una pinche morrida, te puedo partir tu puta madre la verga. And this went on for, like, I think more than a month of her just talking shit. Like, she'll walk past by me, like, she'll laugh, she'll talk. Her and her little fucking minions will look at me and laugh. She was one of those fucking bitches that needed an army to laugh at me. So then there's this one day, I had her for this one class, right? She was talking to this one guy behind me and was like, oh, like, why aren't you and her friends no more? Y'all used to be best friends. This girl just started talking out of her ass and was like, oh, fuck that bitch, you know, she ain't doing nothing that day. I posted up with her. Mind you, she didn't even post up. She posted right outside the door knowing damn well the principal was holding her. So I was like, okay, bitch, all right. So as soon as class is dismissed, it's already time to go home, mind you. Like, this shorty was walking in front of me. Like, girl, is you dumb? Like, I could literally catch you behind your back. But I was like, nah, we're gonna make it fair. Her grandma picks her up, bro. When I tell you that she had the balls to laugh, look at me and look at her grandma. Her and her old ass fucking granny look at me and start laughing, bro. I was like, ain't no way her and her fucking granny are talking shit about me. The fuck? Bitch, you're about to die. The fuck? My bad, because TikTok people be sensitive. And I was super cool with the security guard. I was like, yo, mister, I'm warning you, I'm gonna fight the bitch tomorrow. He hit me with a, no, it's not worth it, no, wooty woo. I was like, bro, nah. Shorty keep talking shit, and like, she think I'm some weak bitch. So next day comes around. Girl, when I tell you, I wake up, I don't even put makeup on. I am ready to squabble up, you know? I slick my hair down, right? Like, I'm talking about slick, tight ponytail, extra hairspray, extra gel, no lashes, and rings. Bro, I pull up fast as hell to school that morning. I pull up, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fight her this early. I'm gonna wait till second period. Wooty woo. Second period comes around. I see her walking. I was like, yo, bitch. I was like, stop talking so much shit, bitch, and running, hoe. The fuck? When I tell you, her and her little fucking friend laughed at me, I was like, oh, you wanna laugh, puta? And this one guy in particular saw me pressing her, so he was like, oh shit. So me and him start walking in class, the same class we had her in, second period. And he was like, oh, once we go in, he was like, oh, are you gonna fight her? Like, out loud, bro. Me being already mad as fuck, I was like, yes, but the bitch don't want to post up with her fucking fake ass. Girl, I said out loud, I ain't give a fuck. Back then, I was a little, little ghetto. Class starts and they take away our phones. Tell me why this bitch waits till we all get our phones back. This bitch feeling bold. She's like, so what you say about me? What you say about me? I didn't even argue with her. I was like, run it. She did not motherfucking run it. So I ended up throwing the first punch where I fucked up. Boom, boom. We started tussling. Tell me what this girl starts pulling my hair, bro. Like in the video, you can see she pulls my hair first. I get mad. I say, boom, on the edge of the table. Like, it's not, the fight wasn't like, oh my god. No, it was a little small fight. But still. Boom, she's on the ground. I start punching her. She ends up biting my middle finger. She was hungry for me. Fast forward, the fight's over. She's from her nose and mouth where her dumb ass just goes like this and ends up spreading it all over her face. Then the principal comes in rushing. She's like, oh my god, did you? And I was like, nope, the fuck? And fast forward, her parents ended up pressing charges on me. And she swore that she was about that life, that she was a gangster. Bitch, what the fuck? And due to TikTok regulations, I don't think I could post it on here. But I'll post it on my close friends. So follow me on Instagram. If you know, you know. But yeah, that bitch ended up pressing charges and acted like the victim in front of the judge and said that I was bullying her. So there you guys have it. That's a story time when I fought this fucking stupid ass girl.
You're quiet. Yeah. I'm trying to gauge how awkward and myself I can be in this new social situation. So I will be quiet until then. And then once I figure it out, you'll probably wish that I would go back to being quiet.
Get ready with me whilst I do a story time on how my best friend destroyed my new place. And it was like brand new. And it was destroyed. Disrespectful. Now, obviously, bear in mind, we are not friends anymore for the obvious reasons. But I would like to also just add in that this was my first ever place and I'm still in it now. And I was so excited to have my first ever place and then she just destroys it. So when I was younger, me and my best friend actually lived in a hostel whilst I had my son, and obviously she had her daughter as well. And then I was going on holiday. So I thought, oh, you know, instead of us staying in the hostel, whilst I go on holiday for 10 nights, she can stay at mine and have the whole place to herself, you know, give her baby girl a little bit more room and whatever else. And I said, basically, whilst I'm on holiday, you can pretty much do whatever you want, like, take whatever you want, like, use whatever you want sort of thing. The only thing I asked her not to do was 2 things. One was no parties, because obviously it's my new place. My son's bedroom is right there. No parties or anything. And then the other thing was, I don't want your baby dad around here, because she was very on and off with him, as a lot of people are. But he was a very nasty person. So I said I don't want him to know where I live, obviously, for safety reasons. So those were the only 2 rules. Now, if you can't already tell from this part of the story, that is exactly what she did. She did those 2 rules that I asked her not to do, and she did them. And then I got a message whilst I was on holiday, and she said, oh, I'm really sorry, I broke your blind in your room. I'm really sorry. And I was like, that's no problem, things happen, it doesn't matter. And then I also got a message at the end of my holiday as well saying, I'm really sorry I wasn't able to clean up. It's just a little bit of a mess, but I apologise. And I was like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be spotless, it's fine. So obviously in my head, I have that a blind's broken and it's a little bit of a mess at my flat when I come home. Now, I come home at, I think it was like 2:30 in the morning, because obviously I just got a flight back from Turkey, all of that. It was very, very late. But obviously I was expecting a little bit of mess and a broken blind. That was not the case. Now, when I got back, the first thing that I noticed, obviously she's gone at this point, was there was a broken glass in my room, just on the floor. And it weren't just like all little pieces. It was a fully broken, massive pint glass on the floor, just there. It's not like you couldn't see it. It was right on the floor, right there. And obviously I have a 4-year-old who at the time was 2, and if I let him in my place first, then he could have ran into my room and then just cut his foot on the glass, because obviously he doesn't know danger yet. Luckily I got into my room first. I saw the broken blind. That was expected. I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Things happen, it doesn't matter. And then I went into the living room and then things just got very, very bad. I can laugh about it now, but honestly at the time I was so annoyed. And I let people off like there's no tomorrow, but this peed me off. I go into the living room and my brand new coffee table has drawings all over it, obviously from a child. Now, if things happen, you know, you can't always stop children. I get children do things that, you know, you don't particularly want them to do. But I mean, it was all over and you could clearly see that it's like, could be wiped. So I automatically, very quickly, got a cloth and started to wipe it. And a lot of it came off. Like a lot of it, there was still some damage. Like the pen was dug in there, so obviously I couldn't get all of that out. But the fact that I could wipe some of it off just shows me that she didn't even bother to wipe it off after her daughter just drew all over it. And I did message her that at the time. I said, if, you know, your daughter draws on things, I understand that things happen. She's a baby. What can you do? But you need to try and wipe it off. Okay, this is like your best friend's place. And everything's brand new. Everything that I brought in here was brand new at the time. She didn't even bother to wipe it off because when I wiped it off, a lot of it came off. Obviously, there was still some damage, but the fact that she just left it, it's not like she didn't know it was there. I mean, this is a white coffee table we're on about, and there's just pencil all over it. Then I go into my bathroom, and my toilet and bathroom is split. I know, annoying. But I went into the toilet one, and there is like drinks all up the wall, like just splattered all up the wall, and I'm like, who on earth sat on the toilet having a drink? Are you okay? No. And I was like, I'm so confused, what on earth is going on? And then I went into the kitchen, and then I brought this brand new fridge freezer, right? And it's in black, and it was luscious. I loved it. It was so beautiful. It wasn't like high end or anything, but it wasn't like cheap either. Do you know what I mean? And this one's the one that annoyed me the most. Actually, no, that's not the one that annoys me the most. The one that annoys me the most is the sofa. Okay, wait. Anyways, I go into the kitchen, and then the fridge freezer has a huge dent in it, and I mean massive. And I'm like, what sort of teenage girl and little baby girl can cause that big of a dent? What on earth was she doing? And then I turn around to look towards my bin. Oh my goodness, the amount of rubbish bags that were filled with like food and whatnot. This was 10 nights we're on about, and there was like 6 or 7 massive bin bags full of mouldy food, and it stunk. And I just thought, why didn't you take that out? Like, you didn't clean up at all. What is going on? And then and then I look at the washing up pile, and the washing up pile is piled, and I mean full on, something you've never seen before. I wish I took photos of that. I did not. I mean piled to the point that food was like stuck on it and moulding on it. Do you not have any respect? Like, come on. And I also saw in the freezer a party bag of ice cubes. That's where it like kind of kicked in. I was like, okay, got ya. And don't forget there was like mess everywhere. Everywhere, weren't just the kitchen, it was everywhere. And then we move on to the sofa. There's a nice big rip in it, and I'm like, my brand new sofa. Lovely, okay. And then I needed something from the window ledge behind the sofa, and I forgot what it was now. Something stupid. And then as I leant over, I saw down the back. This was the next morning, by the way. I looked down the back. Oh my goodness. There was cans of Pepsi splattered all up the wall. Cans of Pepsi actually on the floor and everything as well. There was mouldy chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Honestly, the back of my sofa stunk. Like, it was disgusting. The amount of stuff that was up the walls. What are you doing? What kind of party are you throwing? And obviously, things just got worse. There was loads of little stuff. Some of my stuff was stolen, and obviously I don't know if that was her or one of her friends that she brought round. But it was actually my beauty crop. What was it? The primer or the mist or whatever it was, the cherry one that went missing. And then I noticed underneath my bed that a lot of my skincare and stuff was missing when I didn't have the vanity and stuff. So I kept it all underneath my bed, and a lot of it was missing. And I was like, ugh. And then I said to her, have you taken anything? She was like, no, of course not. Of course not. And obviously at this point I knew she was lying. Like, it was either her or it was one of her friends. Either way, get a grip. Obviously I confronted her about everything over Snapchat at the time, because I couldn't see her. She lived a bit too far away from me at the time. And she denied everything. She was like, I don't know what you're on about. No idea. No, my daughter didn't draw on the coffee table, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, the fairies must have come out then. That's crazy. Wow, these fairies must be really messy. Anyways, obviously we are not best friends anymore. I haven't spoken to her for a long time. It takes a lot for me to not be friends with someone that I was automatically really good friends with, but the fact that she destroyed my brand new place, and I mean everything in this place was brand new at the time, and I was so excited to have my first ever place. I was 18 years old, 22 now, guys. But I was very excited to have my first new place, and I thought I'd do a really nice thing for a friend to let her stay, have her own space, do as she pleases, you know what I mean? Not have like a curfew or anything. And the 2 rules that I ask her not to do, she does, and then also just destroys the place in the meantime. If I had photos of this, I think only then would you understand how bad it actually was. Like, it was ridiculous. I also made a video on this, like, sort of a long time ago, like 4 years ago, on TikTok when I weren't doing it properly, and she actually messaged me saying, can you take that down? Can you take that down? Why are you embarrassed? You should be. It was filthy. Who lives like that? I get a bit of mess. Right, I'm not tidy. But you see my vanity right now, it's a mess. But if I was to stay at somebody else's home, you know that is spick and span, okay? There would not be a speck of dust after I was there. There just wouldn't, because I feel like it's just the most respectful thing to do. I even, like, make my bed when I'm in a hotel room. I don't even need to do that, but I do, because it feels respectful. Anyway, that was a very long story time. Sorry, guys. I apologise. I have loads more stories as well, if you do want me to say that. I just thought I'd get it all out today. Why not? Let you know a little bit of my life. Fun.
I'm sorry, but why the f*** are we taking taxes out of the paychecks of 15 to 17-year-olds when they are not allowed to vote? Is that not the definition of taxation without representation?
Story time on how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me with his sister. Let's just get into it. So story starts and I'm dating this guy for like a year. We were the type of couple that was like, oh my god, like they're gonna last forever. Like they're literally perfect. So he has a sister and she's like half a year younger than him. It's like not that crazy of an age difference. It's really close. So we all went to the same school and literally she hated me for no reason. Like her whole family loved me but her. First couple of months of us dating, like it was never like weird. I never had any suspicion. He was actually quite literally rude to his sister. So like I wouldn't ever think anything of it. I mean, no one really does that, so it's, yeah. Anyways, this girl hated me for literally no reason, hated my guts, and talked bad about me around the whole entire school. But you know what? I let it slide because I loved his family, and we were together, and I was like, why would I let your little sister stop me from dating you? I'm not gonna let that break us up. Anyways, that should have been my first red flag because he would tell me that I'm insane and I need to get over it. But yeah, that was really weird. Plus, my friends thought it was really weird, especially how he didn't really do anything. He just let it happen. So yeah, I should have took that as my first red flag because that's insane. You're not gonna do anything when your sister is bashing me around the whole entire school and to everybody. As time went on, like I would come over to their house and he was always like kind of weird with his sister. With his sister or not, he'd always make like really weird remarks about like how she looked and her body looked. It low-key kind of brushed me off like really weird, but I was like, okay, like that's his sister, like nothing weird like that because who would think that you're banging your little sister? Not me. So one day I was planning on going to my friend's house and I told him and he was like kind of being really weird about it. He was also just like a really controlling person. Like he would never let me hang out with my friends or anything or even go out. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't think much of it. We end up arguing and then I finally get to go because like he gets to go anywhere whenever he wants. So it's not really fair. So I was just hanging out with my friend in her bed and my boyfriend was just acting really weird. A weird that he's never acted before. Like he's like ghosting me and not talking to me. Just really weird. Something he never did before. It made me feel so weird. So in his neighborhood, there's like a park. And mind you, this was like 10 o'clock at night. So his location is set at the park for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. He's probably just hanging out at the park. It just made me feel really weird because he was acting really weird. And it's just like, why are you acting like that? So after like 30 minutes, he was still at the park for like an hour. So he completely ghosted me. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just walk to the park? So that's exactly what I did. Me and my friend walked to the park without him knowing and I turned off my location. So we get to the park and mind you, like you couldn't be able to see us. Like he wouldn't have been able to see us. It was so dark. So I was like, this is like low-key perfect. Like what if I catch him doing something? Like I didn't want to, but like I was like, you know what, for the blood. So as we get closer to the park, I hear talking and yeah. And it's a girl. So I look at my friend like, oh, Soda, we get quiet and creep up on them. As I get close enough to see them, I see his sister and him. I see them doing something crazy that you should never do with your sister. You guys can kind of pick up what I'm putting down. So as soon as I see them, I immediately yelled out like, oh my God, and they immediately turned their head. And when I tell you, they were shaking. I can't even like tell you what I said. I was just like so disgusted. I was like, that's your sister. And he was saying the usual, like, it's not what you think, I promise, like, I can explain. His sister's just over there, like, shaking in her boots. I was just literally so disgusted, and I was like, oh, hell no, like, we're leaving right now. Because what does one do in that situation when you see your boyfriend doing a squirrel dance on his sister? Like, immediately broke up with him, and then after that, for months, he told people that I cheated on him. Low-key didn't tell people that he did the renegade on his sister because, like, that's crazy and I'm not that bad of a person, but you want to see that I cheated on him. Anyways, guys, that's my lore. So follow me if you guys want more crazy story times because I have way more than this. So I love you guys so much. Bye.
Not to be dramatic, but if I dropped dead tomorrow and woke up in hell, it would probably take me 2 to 3 full days to realize that I was not just in another HR-backed team building workshop with my coworkers.
My boyfriend got my little sister pregnant, while we were dating. My little sister is 3 years younger than me, and we've always had a pretty tense relationship. And that's because she's always wanted to copy everything I do. And not just when she was really young, it still happens to this day. But she wasn't copying me in a way of like admiring me. She would copy me because she was in some kind of competition with me. Like whatever I did, she wanted to do it better. If I had an outfit, she wanted to wear the same one, but style it better. If I did an activity, she wanted to join the same one and be better at it than me. That's how it's been our entire life. And I very quickly noticed that when I started dating, she started flirting with all of my boyfriends, and not subtly. She'd be like, imagine if we would have met first. Like, you probably would have been dating me. But obviously you can't because you're with my sister, but like, if you hadn't met her, right? That's weird. That's just so disrespectful. I would bring this up to her and tell her that it made me really uncomfortable and I thought that it was weird. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. You're so jealous. And my parents would say the same thing. They're like, Kelsey, it's your little sister. What are you talking about? She's obviously joking. Sorry, I don't think that's funny. And I have a pretty good sense of humor, if I'm being honest. So it just got to the point that I stopped bringing the guys that I was dating around my family because it just wasn't worth the drama for me, which is really sad because I'm really close with my parents, but I knew that if we went to any family holidays, she was going to be there and it was always going to just start a fight. So I stayed away. Things changed when I started dating my most recent boyfriend because it started getting more serious. We were dating for over a year and I knew that I needed to bring him around my family because that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Also, I stupidly thought that maybe somehow my sister had matured and wouldn't act up anymore, but I was wrong. The first time she met my boyfriend, one of the first things she said is she's like, oh my gosh, if Kels ever misbehaves or treats you wrong, just let me know. I'll fix it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I always have your back. I was like, this is weird. Like, this is just a weird conversation you're having. She was also just being really touchy with him, wanting to always sit by him, was grabbing his arm, laughing at all his jokes. She was flirting with him. Like, I know what flirting looks like, okay? And I know what her flirting looks like because she's my little sister and I've known her whole life. Well, I pull her aside and I'm like, yeah, we're not going to do this, okay? We're not going to continue to do this. I can't. I'm tired. You got to just be normal and stop flirting with all my boyfriends. And again, she was like, oh my gosh. I did not realize how insecure you were. Like, it's actually really sad that I'm the younger sibling and I'm just so much more confident, so much more self-assured. Like, if you were acting like this with my boyfriends, I would not be upset at all. Okay, well, you've never had a boyfriend and there's a reason for that. I'm just gonna put that out there. About a month after this initial meeting, my little sister calls me and tells me that she has amazing news and that she's actually gonna be moving states and moving to the city that my boyfriend and I live in. Great. I was so excited for that. And not only was she moving to our city, she was going to move into the same apartment complex that we lived in. Even better for me. So she moves to our city, moves into our apartment complex, and suddenly she needs help with absolutely everything. She doesn't have a car, so she needs to be driven everywhere. She needs help having everything built. She needs help with all the moving stuff. And guess who she asks for all of it? Yeah, you're right. My boyfriend. Coincidental? I think not. And it got to the point that they were hanging out and I didn't even know they were hanging out. He would get home and I'd be like, where were you? And he was like, I was with your sister. I was helping her do X, Y, Z. I was like, wait, what do you mean you were with my sister? Why didn't you tell me? And he's like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. She just needed a favor. And so I went to help out. Like, she lives in our building. No, okay? He was making it seem like it was innocent. It wasn't innocent. It gets to the point that this is the biggest issue in our relationship. We're constantly arguing about it, where I'm like, I want you to stop spending so much time with my sister because you already know the previous issues that are there. And he was like, it's your family. I'm just trying to be a good guy. I'm like, okay, sorry, your loyalty is to me, and I'm asking you to establish this boundary, and you won't do it, and it's weird. And we were just going back and forth for weeks about it. Finally, one day, my little sister comes to my apartment while my boyfriend and I are watching a movie, and she just looks so upset. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what is going on? And that's when she tells me that she is pregnant, which I'm shocked about because she just moved to the city. I didn't know she was dating anyone. The only guy that she's been hanging out with is my boyfriend. See, at the time I didn't put that together because I thought that there was no way that he would do that to me, but yeah, just wait. But the person who was even more shocked was my boyfriend. He looked like he was about to projectile vomit. I was like, wow, they obviously have gotten really close. He is really concerned about her. And that's when I start asking her, I was like, okay, who's the father? Whose baby are you having? And she gets really quiet. She's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to tell you. I was like, why are you being weird about this? And obviously we know why she was being weird about this. Then she starts looking at my boyfriend. She's like, I mean, like, are you going to tell her or am I? She fully came in here ready to expose him, and he had no idea. It was just all going down right there in my living room. So I look at him. He looks absolutely sick. I'm looking at her, and low-key, she's smirking a little bit. She's happy about this because, again, everything's a competition, and apparently she won. She took my man. That's what she wanted this whole time. And I look at him. I'm like, no, please tell me that she's lying. She's making this up. And he can't even get any words out. I can see it on his face that, yeah, it's him. He's the father of this baby. So I absolutely lose it. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And he has the audacity to say to me, well, I know I cheated, but I only half cheated because it's your sister. You shared DNA. So it's like, it's not as bad if I was cheating with someone else. It's like, it's half cheating. No, I'm sorry. What man logic is that? I cannot, it's way worse to cheat with somebody's sibling than with a stranger. So obviously I kick him out. I'm like, you have somewhere else to sleep in the exact same building. So don't even feel bad about it. I don't want to see your face ever again. I look at my sister. I'm like, I don't want to see your face ever again either. My ex-boyfriend is now texting me 24/7, apologizing, saying it was a mistake. It only happened once, which I don't believe based on how much time they spent together. And my family keeps texting me, it's your little sister. Give her grace. People make mistakes. So people make mistakes? That was not a mistake. That was a betrayal. Haven't heard anything from my little sister though. Not one text, not one apology, because she's not sorry. She very much planned for this to happen. I know it. And I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next, but let me know if y'all want to stay updated.
Oh my god. I can't breathe.
Good morning. I had a horrible shift at work last night, and I normally work Saturdays, but I wasn't scheduled. But today I'm actually not mad about it at all because after last night, I don't know. Basically, there was a lot of shit that went down, but I'll tell you one thing that kind of pissed me off. So I had this table and everything went fine. You know, they weren't like nice, but they weren't really rude. It was just whatever. And I, ran their card because they wanted to go home. And I accidentally, me and another server were running a card at the same time. So I ran the correct table. I just took the top slip from someone else's table. So I drop it off and then I come back to pick it up, see if they need anything because they're kind of like looking around. And they're like, this is not, like, they're mad as fuck. They're like, you need to refund us. Like, you ran us on the wrong table. Like, this is wrong. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh shit. I hate when that happens because, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it's going to happen, okay? Especially because it was busy last night. Hold on. So it takes me all of 2 seconds to realize what happened. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm so sorry for the confusion. Like, I ran the correct, table. Like, your card is fine. I just grabbed the wrong piece of paper. And they are not picking up what I'm putting down. So I had to explain it to them 4 separate times until they finally were like, I just woke up, okay? Until they finally were like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, have a good day. I'm so sorry about the confusion. So they leave, and after a while, they come back, and I see them, and they're like, don't even talk to me. They ask for a manager. And I'm like, oh, fuck my life. Like, not this shit again. And so my manager comes over to me, and she's like, what happened with this table? I explained it to her, and she's like, okay, like, they're saying that their bank statement is showing a charge for $90. Their bill was $60. I was like, there ain't no fucking way. I haven't even put the tip in yet. Like, I haven't even entered anything in the system. It's not even closed out completely. And she's like, okay, so basically, I don't really know what ended up happening, but my manager was like, it's not your fault. You did the correct thing. I don't know what's going on with them. And so I was like, okay, so that was kind of annoying. And then I had another table after that. It's this mom and dad, a daughter, another mom and dad, a daughter, and probably their daughter's friend or whatever. And they're super nice. I go over, they already have drinks on the table, right? And these girls don't look a day over 16 years old, have drinks in front of them. They're frozen. And I'm like, okay, they're probably like virgin daiquiris or something. Because like, bitches do that a lot. I don't know. I used to do that shit. So the people at the table are like getting up and like walking around because, you know, we have live music. It's kind of like that kind of vibe. And one of the husbands orders 2 frozen margaritas, and I'm assuming it's for his wife. Like, I have nothing to think like suspiciously at this point because I'm also busy and he has his wife there. She's just not at the table right now. I'm like, okay, so I bring the drinks over, running around still, and then come back. The drinks are in front of the guy and the woman, and he orders another 2. And I'm like, okay, come back, walking around. It's starting to die down in the restaurant a little bit. And I noticed that the drinks are now sitting in front of the girls. And I'm like, oh, hell fucking. I'm like, no. So they're already like halfway gone, so I'm not gonna fucking say anything. Like, I honestly, you could burn this entire place down with me inside of it and I wouldn't give a fuck, okay? But then I come around again and he orders another round. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. No, ma'am. So I go back into the office because number one, all 3 of my managers were there, including the owner of the restaurant. I am not losing my job because you want your 16-year-old daughter to drink. Okay, like, because frankly, I personally don't give a fuck, but we could lose our liquor license. Any of my managers could walk by at any moment and I could just be done for it. Like, no. So I go to the office, tell my manager what's happening. She's like, okay, I'll come out. She makes it look like she's doing rounds. And then I come back to the table after and I'm like, oh, like, my manager was over here. Like, are you guys okay? Like, playing fucking stupid. And he's like, yeah, she said we can't order any more drinks anymore. And I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry. And then he looks at me and he's like, I wonder who ratted us out. Like, I don't think it was you. And I was like, so you're really deadass just gonna fucking tell me that you knew exactly what you were doing? I was like, bro. And like, the daughters weren't ordering things. They were waiting until I wasn't at the table to like drink out of them and like put them in front of them. Because every time I came back, the drinks weren't in front of them until they got drunker, pretty much. But yeah, and there was like a lot of other shit going on just behind the scenes. And it was just not a good night. And Janelle also wasn't there. And she works today and I'm not working today. So I'm waiting for that phone call to see how this goes. Sorry that was kind of long. I'm going to the bank and getting some food. But love you guys. Thank you for watching.
6 years old now. My father died at 7.5. I don't want to live in a hole anymore.
Story time about how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me on Discord. Okay, so basically, he had cheated on me like a couple of times. And he was doing so good. Like, he was being such a good boy for like 2 months. And I got really suspicious because I would go through his phone and time after time, I was just finding nothing and nothing and nothing. And me and Haley had so much hope that he had changed, right, Haley? Like, we genuinely thought he was locking in. Before I found that, we thought he was locking in. We were like, wow, like, character development, like, people change. So, yeah, so I was going through his phone, and then I was like, I don't know, something in me told me to, like, go to Discord, right? And I don't know what it was. Like, something in my genuine soul was telling me, like, click Discord. Mind you, I have no idea how to work Discord. Like, I barely know what Discord is. Like, he would always, like, say he was hopping on Discord calls with his boys and stuff. And I was like, okay, like, I assumed it was something to do with gaming. And I'd, like, tapped it, like, once or twice before. But, like, it, like, didn't seem, like, relevant to me. I was like, I don't care about Discord. So I told him I was hungry because I was suspicious, like, something was off. And, like, a woman's intuition never lies. So I was really suspicious. And I was like, oh, like, can you go warm me up some food? And like a dummy, he leaves his phone. First mistake. Never leave me alone with your phone. So he left his phone, and immediately I go to Discord. No, I go through it, and there's nothing. And, like, something in my gut's just telling me, like, bro, like, he's cheating. Like, he's cheating on you. And I thought it was just, like, you know, like, PTSD from getting cheated on before. So I was like, I was trying to gaslight myself, but I was like, you know what, let me go through Discord. So I have no idea how to work Discord. I hop on the app and I figure out how to like go from like server to server, I guess, or like look at the chats, because like I had no idea how to work it. And then I just see like he's texting like random accounts like Kitty Skittles like 2007, like it was something like that. And I was like, okay, Kitty Skittles. I click it and he's like, hey cutie. Kitty Skittles did not answer. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then there was another one and it was like, I don't remember the other one. She wasn't relevant. Kitty Skittles will come like in clutch later. Like we're gonna worry about Kitty Skittles later. So, Kitty Skittles did not answer, but he texted another one. He's like, hey, and they answered and they were like, hey. He's like, what are you doing, cutie? What? Like what? Like on you gotta be fucking with me. Like on Discord. That's where we're getting our play. So I start flipping out and he comes downstairs and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? And I had taken pictures of it on my phone. So I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Like Discord. Like, you just need to understand the pure rage. Cause like I had his Snap, I had his Insta, like I would go through his like number, like his phone number shit. And I just never like in my wildest dreams imagined that Discord would ever be an issue. So I ended up forgiving him because I was like, you know what, like at least he didn't do anything physical. First mistake. It doesn't matter how it is. It doesn't matter if it's emotional, if it's micro, if it's anything. If they're willing to do that shit to you, not worth it. Which is a lesson learned. Like I know that now. Like character development, I guess. Like everyone need to go through it. But anyways, a while passes and I'm like going through my camera roll and I find the screenshots again and I'm just like, damn. Like, so I look at them and I'm like, hold on. I saw that like they were on a mutual server. Like both of the girls, like when he chatted with them, like on the top it was like there's a mutual server. So I'm like, what is this mutual server? And I like screenshot the pic and I zoom in. And wait, I'm gonna insert a pic. So Gooners unite. And I was like, what's a goon? Like, what does that mean? Like, I thought, like, when I read Gooners, I was like, maybe it's, like, trolls. Like, maybe it's, like, a trolling thing. So, obviously, I went to Urban Dictionary, and I looked up, like, what's a gooner? I don't know if y'all know what gooners are, but I wish I never did. So, gooning is basically, like, honestly, if you want to know, go Urban Dictionary it. If you know, you know. So, yeah. He was on a server called that. And I was like, no way. I was just like, no. Like, that's not possible. Like, that's not real. Like, that's not, like, a thing. So, what do? I go and I download Discord, obviously. Mind you, I'm, like, using ChatGPT to help me navigate how Discord works. Because I still have no idea how Discord works. Oh, excuse me. And I was a little stressed out, but eventually ChatGPT gave me all the answers I was looking for. Did I not pack my setting spray? I swear to God, I put my setting spray in here, right? I grabbed the setting spray and I threw it in here. Wait 1 sec. So I'm like using ChatGPT to tell me like how to use Discord, and then I add one of the girls he was texting on this so-called Gooners Unite. So I add her and she adds me back like really quick, and I'm like, hey girl, like my boyfriend was texting you and you never answered. This is the Skittles girl that never answered. And I was like, yeah, like you never answered, but like what was the server? And she was confused for a sec, and then like I just broke it all down to her. I was like, this is what happened, this was the server. I sent her pictures of us. So I was just like, I just like dead ass need to know the truth. And she was like, oh, like